Tonight, giving our annual State of the Word, where we talk about everything we've done this year and everything we hope to do next year, is, of course, WordPress project co-founder Matt Mullenweg.
Wow. We're really here. So, welcome, everybody. Right around today was the originally scheduled date for the WordPress 5.9 release, and we made a very, very unusual decision for WordPress to delay the release for about a month. So we're going to release it in January, but it felt like we were so close, and we decided to turn around. And whenever we were making that decision, which wasn't that long ago, to delay the release, I wasn't thinking so much about what was happening right then, the kind of month before the release. But what did we do 3, 4, 5 months before? So I think it's an excellent time for reflection. And actually some of this has started on Anne McCarthy's blog. We started talking in her comment section, in public, of course, as everything happens on WordPress, about what we can learn from this, that we can start putting into effect not just for the release coming next month, which will be fine, but for the big 6.0, which is coming next year. I've even heard some rumblings that 2022 might be a year we aim for 4 releases instead of just 3. But let's not get too crazy just yet. We're at the beginning of the State of the Word. We had a very, very exciting 2021, and really it was quite fulfilling to be part of it after it's still part of a very challenging time in humanity. We focused a lot this year on WordPress.org, and one I'd like to highlight to start is around the news sites.
In the redesign of the news page in WordPress.org. The general inspiration was last year's State of the Word presentation and overall jazz aesthetics. Because the blog doesn't have much imagery, we took some time to explore shapes, typography, layout, and colors to get a successful result that expresses the playfulness of jazz.
We redesigned this might have been like WordPress 3.0, so it's exciting to start to loop back to some things in WordPress.org. Another thing we were able to launch on WordPress.org was Openverse, which I swear we named before Facebook decided to pivot.
Openverse is a search engine for openly licensed media. Search for an image, download, and put it on your site. Give attribution to the creator, and that's it.
So Openverse is we've started to expand how we think about our mission from just being about the code and the tools that allow people to publish to actually what they're publishing. So Openverse was originally called Creative Commons Search, was actually part of the Creative Commons nonprofit. But the sort of cost in running it, they decided they were going to shut it down or put it somewhere, and we found a home for it on WordPress.org, which I'm very, very excited about. We have over 600 million Creative Commons images licensed through it. And we're going to have audio coming up at the end of January. There'll be 2 million audio clips there. And, applying open source to content is a little tricky, but the Creative Commons, of course, has a long legacy there, I think 20 years now. And so we're very, very excited to continue carrying that torch forward to create as much open content on the web as possible. The other thing we got on WordPress.org is the pattern directory.
The WordPress pattern directory, similar to the plugin and theme, is a site that features submitted patterns that anyone can copy and use. With WordPress 5.9, WordPressorg members will be able to sign in and submit patterns to be added to the directory, as you can see in this flow. This is a huge opportunity for designers to contribute to the overall WordPress ecosystem without having to know how to code a plugin or a theme. If you've used patterns in WordPress lately, you know they make it easy to add unique layouts to your site quickly. Now imagine helping others create beautiful content from testimonials, headers, galleries, and more with your own submissions. Once submitted, patterns will be set to pending, and you'll be able to see all your patterns in one place. Submitted patterns can also be resized right on the page to give a better understanding of how our pattern will be displayed at different sizes. And since patterns are really just text, they can be copied to your device's clipboard, just like any other text. Just paste the pattern into any block editor to incorporate it into your site.
We had a 76% improvement in the language packs that are being created for plugins and core. And we're up to now 15,900 active translators. One thing that's been in the news quite a bit lately is also security. And I'm proud to say it was a good year for WordPress security. We had over 30 people, of which a third of them were first-time contributors, contributing security patches. In our security reporting system, 71% of the reports ended up being closed as not applicable. and about 5.6 for duplicates, so this means that someone had reported them already. Security is a process. Anyone who says they are perfectly secure is tempting fate.
WordPress 5.8, you can now manage your widgets with blocks, allowing you to visually edit more parts of your site.
This is actually really cool. Check it out.
Here's an example showing off how deep customization can go with a combination of tools, starting with layering 2 blocks to create a neat effect. As you can see, being able to use blocks opens up tons of new creative possibilities, from no-code mini layouts to tapping into the vast library of core and third-party blocks to create content.
That's the focal point changing.
Keep in mind that you'll have the same controls in the post editor to perfect the placement and the opacity. Go a step further and add a duotone filter to create an even more compelling experience. Enjoy the familiar experience of drag and drop to get the details just right before saving, checking out your awesome creation on your site.
The other block, maybe the most complex block ever created, is called a query block. So imagine WP_query now on a block.
Thanks to the query block launched in 5.8, you can now easily display your posts and pages with blocks, as you can see here. This advanced block comes built in with various layouts that you can switch between until you find the one that you like. From there, you can go a step further to customize your featured images thanks to new design tools coming in 5.9. This includes dimension controls and various scale options, so you can tweak to your heart's content.
Again, that was like a pretty fancy demo. I'll mention a few things in there. You got to the block navigator, which is a very exciting way and accessible way to navigate through blocks. And I don't know if you saw it, but what Anne was doing in that demo when she was changing the size was actually she clicked and then moved her mouse up and down, which actually increases it. It's got duotone, improved gallery, which you can drag and drop, block spacing with a single control, border bar, flexible layouts, themes and patterns. You can edit your site logo easily, including make the logo bigger, which I'm sure some designers have heard. Someone got that one. The list view, which is super, super cool. It allows you to navigate between relatively complex hierarchies of blocks very, very easily. And finally, the integrated pattern directory, which is probably the easiest way to essentially contribute code to WordPress that has ever existed. We've got a few demos here of what's in 5.9, and these are honestly some of the coolest demos we've ever shown in the State of the Word.
The 5.9 release marks the introduction of a next generation of themes that allows greater customization and simpler building. Themes can now be created entirely with blocks, meaning you get all the familiar editing tools and the same blocks you use when creating posts and pages to allow you to edit all parts of your site, including your header and footer. All the templates from the theme can be edited using the block editor, like the home page, your blog archive, or single pages. Want to zoom in on just your header? Easy. Using the top toolbar, select your header and switch into a dedicated mode to do exactly that. Once there, you can explore the new navigation block that comes with built-in responsive and keyboard-accessible options. With over 30 theme blocks, the ability to customize and create every part of your site has never been easier.
And then finally, we improved how patterns work.
Patterns can be used to create different sections like headers and footers. In a few clicks, you can make a brand new header without changing your theme. Open the inserter, switch to the Patterns tab, and select Explore to see what's available. All these new features help you get where you want to go faster.
The other key is individual ownership. So in WordPress, as with some of the best Web3 products, you own your own content, the code, everything to run it, without any payment to WordPress. You can move your content from one site to another easily. In fact, WordPress's export format has become the de facto standard for all their CMSs. We laid out a plan many years ago, which we're still following today, around the 4 phases of Gutenberg. Just to remind everyone, 2018, we started the first phase of Gutenberg, which was around easier editing. This was the introduction of the block editor and the idea that the block editor will be able to edit everything inside the post box. So we were thinking inside the post, inside the box with blocks.
My question is about Openverse.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you could speak a little bit about the safety measures that have been thought about or will need to be thought about in terms of the content that is uploaded there. Will EXIF data be removed from photos that are uploaded? That's my question.
That's a great question, actually. So first, I do not know if we've thought of EXIF before. I will say that, so there's two things there. There's Openverse, which is, think of it like a search engine. So it's crawling literally the whole web and looking for things that are Creative Commons licensed and providing a directory of them. So what people publish to their own websites is kind of the state of responsibility there, but it's kind of like a Google, but for Creative Commons licensed content. That is separate from the WordPress.org/photos directory that we've created, which is kind of like a Getty or an Unsplash or everything, but all CC0 licensed. Forever and ever, by the way. We're not going to change that on you like some other photo directories have. That goes through moderation. If you want to submit to something there, you'll see that right now it says, hey, one of the checkboxes there to certify is, of course, one, that you have rights to the photo. Please don't upload other people's photos to it, only your own. But two, that it doesn't have any human faces or other copywritten material in the photo itself. So this first phase of the photo directory really focused on things that can truly be CC0 all the way. Something we've all been learning is, that's a little complicated, is with humans and like a picture of, let's say you had a picture of a piece of art, that might have a copyright embedded. So even if the image is in CC0, it might, something in it might be copywritten. And so we're working on what is an open source GPL CC0 model release? You know, what does that look like? And that is a very open set of lawyers working on things. But once we have it, I think that's actually really exciting. Maybe someone could license their likeness as well to be in the Openverse. Maybe we generate something with GPT-3 that replaces faces in it, and then that's the thing that's open. Or maybe someone even says, maybe while I'm alive, I don't want my likeness used, but maybe on my death, I bequeath my likeness to this open commons that belongs to humanity. There's lots of different ways this could work. Kind of is fun to think about and imagine, but that's how that's working right now. We'll probably, you know what makes sense is something that maybe shows the EXIF data you upload before it goes into the thing, at least for a photo directory, so you're just aware of everything that's being put in there. Location is actually fantastic to have. Like if I have a picture of Stonehenge, the location where I took that picture is kind of awesome. But other metadata, which could be contained in the EXIF, probably people should just be aware of, right? So we'll work on getting that added to the photo uploader. And by the way, awesome question. So that's it for the live stream for this year's 2021 State of the Word. And now, I hope if you're watching at home, you can go enjoy yourself with friends. And for those who are here in person, let's go grab a drink and some food. All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.